everybody. Welcome back to the Poke Logistics channel. Today we're going to go over card grading. We're going to kind of go over the submissions on how to do that, which ones I think you should go for, and just the different options that we have. There's tons of different card grading services. We're going to go over some of the main ones today. So we're going to start with Beckett here. They're kind of the big gold standard for grading. So if we go here, we're going to go, let's see what their prices are. So for a base submission, we are looking at $14.95 per card. That's without any subgrades. So subgrades would be like 9.5, 8.5, things like that. So here we kind of, they're express if you need it rushed. If you need things like super rushed, like you got, let's say, the Sunbreon, and you want to grade it for like a quick flip or whatever, you'd be using Express or Priority. So let's just say we're gonna do a base, and say we got the 1999. Let's see, Charizard. So we're gonna pull it up. Basic Italian. Let's just say we got this one. Okay, I'm sure when you do the declared value, the total might change. I know in some grading services it does do that. So let's just say 5,000. Yep. It did change because of insurance. You can also select a graded card review if you have a graded card already. Let's just say we're going to do this one. Then you'd put in all of your information and your return shipping. So this is one thing that you have to pay attention to when you are sending these in for grading, is that you're going to be paying for shipping there and back to you. And it's pretty simple from here. You just review your order, you put in your payment details and the such. So theirs is pretty straightforward on submitting. Cost per card is pretty good. That's not bad, $15 a card. I would say turnaround time could be better, but that's about on par for most, this 45 plus. Next, we're looking at Tag. Tag is a little bit newer. It's starting to come around for people to like. Personally, I really like their slabs. I plan on grading through them at some point just to get a couple other slabs. I think the minimalistic look, how clean they are, and I like that you can scan the QR code up top and see everything about the grade. So here's theirs. I would plan on doing value bulk, just because I have about 20 cards I want to grade for my collection. That one is $15 a card. You can do regular if you only have a couple cards, $25. Then of course your Express and walkthrough. So the Express will get you super quick, about 5 business days it shows here. Walkthrough is looking at 2 business days. So the score, as you can see here, it goes through and it allows your cards to be ranked with more precision. Do I think you need that? No. I wouldn't say it's worth it just for that, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. You got the Dig Plus and the Dig Standard. So the Dig Plus gives you the most comprehensive report and analysis on your card. You get the images of the card. And the one thing that the walkthrough gets you that the others doesn't is the 360-degree video of the slab. These also come individually wrapped. So as you can see here, the mystery foil wrap. So when you open it up, you don't know which card it is and what the grade is going to be. So this isn't too bad. So let's just do it real quick. So let's say we're going to do the value bulk at $15 a card. You can do base protection or advanced or none. And if I remember correctly, this is per card. Okay, so this is 50% refund, including the recoupment fees if your card is rejected. Card care. This is new. This is one I haven't seen yet. So this one will remove any debris, anything like that from your cards. That could be worth it if you have something that you had just pulled or you've had sitting in a binder or something and you want that done. So let's just, for the sake of it, let's do this. So this is one thing right here that I would do, the submission kit. It includes shipping, insurance, and I believe they ship you boxes and everything you need to send it to them. So just like before, you put in all your details and you do pay now. Pretty straightforward. Tags turnaround times are about the same as the others. It's about a 30 to 45 day, maybe 45 plus turnaround. We have PSA as the next one that we're going to look at here. So PSA, they are very well known. They are probably the go-to for grading for most collectors and resellers. So they obviously have Collectors Club only pricing, which isn't, this isn't bad. For those who aren't part of the Collectors Club, you're looking at $25 a card, so about on average. However, we're looking at 65 days right there for a turnaround time. It's a little insane, I think, but I know there's a lot of cards being submitted to PSA. You can do the Value Plus, get in about 20. Of course, it just keeps getting more expensive as we go on. This is another one of those things that I was saying, you get the Sunbryon or the Moonbryon, and you need it quick. This is what you do. Walkthrough. I feel like these walkthroughs are for those that are like, they want to know everything about the card. They're like a super collector. That's what I feel like they would do. So for PSA, this. I don't remember my password. Well, it's a bummer. Anyways, PSAs is pretty much like the others. However, they tell you how to ship it to them. So for PSA, they want your card in a penny sleeve, a card saver. They prefer that you put them in between like two pieces of cardboard, rubber band it, and then submit it to them. And of course, just like before, you had to pay for shipping there and back. Or if you have, I think it was like a FedEx shipping account, you can submit through that. The next one is CGC. This is another one that people know about. You can verify your CGC. So here we can create an account, choose the tiers. Let's see the tiers for CGC. So for a bulk, you're looking at 14 a card with a 35-day turnaround. That's not bad. That's working days, so that's going to be business days. Your economy, 17 a card for 20 business days. Standard, $45 per card. Again, it looks like it's going to be about the same price-wise. So CGC does do these add-ons for things like the autographs. Looks like pedigree to add a cert label to indicate ownership. That's kind of cool. Crossovers. So that's where if you had your card graded PSA or maybe even tag, they will remove the card and put it into a CGC. Of course, there's the errors. So their turnarounds are a little bit quicker than the others so far. Pricing for bulk is a little bit cheaper, but these are about standard here. Then we have SGC. Some people like to think SGC a portion of CGC, but they're different. SGC isn't really used as much anymore. For some reason. Interesting. Okay, here we go. $15 a card for standard. Immediate 1 to 2 day. That's not bad. But of course, this depends on the declared value for a standard size card. Wow, if you need it in 1 to 2 days, $40. That's pretty good for a card under $1,500. And it looks like any card that's over $3,500, if I'm reading this correctly, you can only do immediate. So SGC seems to be okay. Now you can get your cards graded through GameStop. They've partnered with PSA. So if you remember the pricing through PSA, these are the Collectors Club pricings. It's a very simple, very straightforward on how to grade your cards. So $18.99 per card, $5 shipping for the entire order. And if you're a pro, you get free shipping. And just like on PSA's website, you're looking at about 65 business days for your turnaround. So when you go to a GameStop and you want your cards graded, you're going to want to put it in a penny sleeve and a card saver. If you do not have those for some reason, they do have them available in the store. Of course, the penny sleeves are a penny. Their card savers, if I remember correctly, were 25 cents. I had the Charizard from 151 that I had graded through them. That was before the 65-day turnaround. I think it took about 40 days or so for that one to come back. They do have this. When you get your card graded, when you send it in, after PSA receives it, obviously it's going to say PSA received. While it's shipping, it'll say shipping. It took about 2 weeks for me from when PSA received it and from it going from arrived to research and ID. But I will say, once research and ID hit, it was a matter of days by the time it got to quality and analysis. And then it took about another 2 weeks for it to ship to the store. And I know there's been some speculation of shady GameStops with grading and switching out cards and things like that. If that's something you're worried about, I would say do not go to GameStop. However, you can get to know the people that work at the GameStops and go from there and just kind of see what they're like, and get some feelers out there. Obviously, they have the collector trade-in as well, so once it's ready for pickup, you can go in, and you can either pick it up or you can trade it in for store credit or cash. Their offers aren't terrible. They're probably about 70 to 75% of market. When I had that Charizard graded, it came back a grade 9, and they offered $202 for that card. And at the time, I think market value was just over $220. So it wasn't terrible, and that was also with the pro pricing. I will also say another thing about this tracker. Once it goes to QA and it's shipped, there is a little button that says that you can look at the card, and it'll show you the grade you got. And if you do not want to know the grade that you got for the card, I advise that you do not click that, because then you will see the card, you will see the grade, the cert number, and all that. But if you don't care about seeing that early before you get it, then by all means click it and go to town. And then for our last one that we wanted to talk about a little bit was degree grading. They, from what I understand, are a little bit newer. There's not many people that I have seen grade with them. I like that you can see live turnaround times. So here we go. Your first submission, $50. Standard is $25 a card, and bulk is $17 with a 10 card minimum. If you only want an encapsulation, no grade, those are also not bad prices. I know PSA, that's one thing I forgot to mention, is that they just did they just brought back the minimum grade. So all that pretty much is this encapsulation only. Um, so for your first submission, oh, come on, why are you doing this to me? Okay, first submission, 5 cards for $50. That's $10 a card. That's really not bad. I will say 49-day turnaround, pretty good. Seems about standard. I don't know much about Degree and how their grading is. So let's just go over it a little bit. Each category moves on a sliding scale. Okay. So corners and edges, 3 points. Your surface, centering, creases or dents. So let's just say your centering's a 95. So you'll still get a gem mint. Let's say for some reason your surface was a little blemished. And same with your corners. So that's pretty good. Let's say your centering was like an 85. But everything else was amazing. You get a 9. And so your centering is going to be a big form factor, just as it is with any grading, actually. But it's interesting. You get a 11 instead of a 10 for perfect everything. They have their explanations here. Let's see. They want a 50-50 or a 53-47 centering. It's actually it's a pretty tight tolerance for centering. Side to side, top to bottom. That's pretty strict, actually. There's not a lot of cards that I have seen personally that could fit that. Actually, there might be a couple that I've seen, but that's still pretty strict centering. Alright, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was which one of these I think you should go with. Personally, for me, SGC is out of the question. It's just not a very big one. If you like the look of their slabs, it's kind of old school looking, then I'd say go for it. But not really one that I am impressed with. So CGC, well, it's pretty common. Not a lot of people who are looking to possibly flip cards are wanting CGC. So let me just preface with this. If you're wanting to get the most value out of your card and you're wanting to sell it, PSA and Beckett are going to be your 2 best options. Beckett to get that black label if the card can meet it. PSA obviously because for some reason PSA cards just move quick. So if you're that person that wants to resell cards and you want them to move quick, Beckett or PSA. But PSA would definitely move a lot quicker than a Beckett. Beckett is somewhere I would send if I had like a freshly pulled base set first edition Charizard. I would submit to Beckett. But PSA would be the one where, like I said, if you're wanting to resell, this is the one. For me, personally, as a collector, PSA slabs they're nice. I have several, but I'm not a big fan of their label. So as a collector, I would say the tag slabs are gonna be where it's at. If you don't ever plan on reselling or trying to resell quick, and you are looking for a slab that is crisp and clean and unique, I would say tag. You can also do CGC, and theirs aren't too bad, but again, it's similar to PSA, where for me personally, I don't really like their label. So this is all personal preference on who you should go with. Obviously, if you want like notoriety, you want something that's going to move quick, or just kind of like as a status thing, it's going to be Beckett and PSA. For me, I would have to say overall, tag is probably going to be my number one that I would go with no matter what. And that's for me personally. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys in your path to grading cards. If you have any questions about these, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to answer questions or help out with the process. So yeah, just leave a comment down if you have any questions, or if you just have a regular comment, feel free. And we hope to catch you in the next video. Peace out.